Some machines weren't built just to move cargo or passengers. They were built to impress, to push the boundaries of engineering, to leave a trail of thunder and admiration wherever they passed. Today, we're diving into a world of locomotives, so massive, so brutally powerful, they look like they came straight out of a nightmare made of steel and steam. Engines so large, so heavy, and so bold that many engineers of their time called them impossible to operate. And yet, they ran. Have you ever seen a locomotive strong enough to haul hundreds of tons on its own? Or a steam engine that could outrun a sports car? Some of these legends did exactly that, and more. So buckle up. We're going on a journey through time to discover the iron giants that conquered mountains, crossed deserts, shattered records, and defined entire eras. These weren't just locomotives, they were moving monuments. Stick around until the end, because the last one on this list is so outrageous, it still sparks debates among engineers and train lovers around the world. DWR 4073 Castle Class. Introduced in 1923 by the Great Western Railway in the United Kingdom, the Castle Class was designed to redefine the standards of power and speed in British railways. At a time of rapid development, this locomotive pushed the GWR ahead in the race for performance and innovation. With a 4-cylinder steam engine, the Castle Class delivered around 3,000 horsepower, enough to hit speeds over 90 miles per hour. That was an impressive number for the 1920s, and its acceleration was smooth and consistent, perfect for express routes. It used a direct action valve gear and rear-wheel drive, which was standard for British steam locomotives. This setup gave the engineer excellent throttle control and responsive handling. Visually, the Castle Class was a masterpiece on rails. With its elongated body, graceful lines, and classic dark green livery, it stood as a symbol of power and elegance. The rhythmic chuffing of its exhaust echoed through the English countryside like a mechanical symphony. It was heavily used on key routes connecting London, Bristol, Plymouth, and other major cities. Its reliability and speed made it a favorite among both railway companies and train crews. Today, several units are preserved and still running on heritage railways in the UK. One of them even carried members of the British royal family, proof of the class's status and prestige. Impressed by its elegance and power, the next one combined unique design with the strength to conquer the rugged southern coast of England. 34028 Eddystone. Built in 1946 by the Southern Railway, the 34028 Eddystone is one of the standout locomotives of the West Country class. Designed by engineer Oliver Bulleid, it was built to operate on routes with limited infrastructure, while still delivering top-level performance. Its 3-cylinder steam engine and efficient boiler produced around 2,500 horsepower. That allowed it to reach speeds over 87 miles per hour. A major achievement for a locomotive considered lightweight at the time. It featured a rotary valve gear and a pressurized steam system, giving it sharp throttle response and quick transitions between speeds. Rear-wheel drive and well-designed running gear ensured steady traction on the winding and often wet tracks of southern England. Visually, the Eddystone stood out with its distinctive air deflectors and aerodynamic shape. Its compact yet muscular profile made it one of the most photographed locomotives in the region. When it steamed past, it created a curtain of vapor that was nothing short of cinematic. It primarily ran on the Waterloo-Weymouth route, hauling passengers through hills, curves, and coastal terrain. Its lightweight frame combined with raw power allowed it to tackle tracks others couldn't. Today, Eddystone is fully restored and runs on the Swanage Railway in southern England. Visitors are often surprised to learn they're looking at one of the best engineered steam locomotives of the post-war era. Think that's impressive? The next one is built to handle the brutal conditions of the African desert, and it became a true monster of the sands. South African Railways Class 25. Introduced in 1953, the South African Class 25 was engineered for extreme endurance. Designed to survive blazing heat, dry conditions, and massive distances without support. This locomotive was a beast tailor-made for the African landscape, powered by a 3-cylinder steam engine and a highly pressurized boiler. It generated around 4,000 horsepower and could cruise at speeds up to 75 miles per hour, even while hauling dozens of freight cars through arid, remote regions. Its steam feed system was partially automated with manual valve control and rear-wheel drive. The suspension was reinforced with dual-action springs to absorb shocks for rough and uneven tracks. Visually, the Class 25 was nothing short of intimidating. Stretching nearly 108 feet and equipped with a separate tender, it looked more like a military train than a commercial locomotive. When it released steam in the desert heat, the effect was almost surreal, like a steel mirage gliding through the dust. It was primarily used to haul ore and heavy freight across long routes between remote regions like Kimberley and DR. In many areas, it was the only reliable means of long-distance transport. Some of these locomotives are still preserved today. One was even fitted with a unique steam condensation system to save water, an innovation unheard of at the time. If that level of endurance impressed you, get ready. The next locomotive was designed to dominate the race for speed and luxury in the United Kingdom, and it did just that. LMS Coronation Class 6220. Launched in 1937 by the London, Midland, and Scottish Railway, the Coronation Class was created to claim the title of the fastest locomotive in Britain. The first of its kind, number 6220, named Coronation, was a bold step forward in both performance and elegance. With a 4-cylinder engine and a high-efficiency boiler, this locomotive delivered around 3,300 horsepower. It could cruise at more than 112 miles per hour, pushing the limits of steam-powered technology at the time. Its manual valve gear was highly refined, and rear-wheel drive combined with large-diameter driving wheels gave it excellent speed stability over long distances. Aesthetically, the Coronation was a rolling masterpiece. Painted royal blue with silver stripes and featuring a streamlined body, it had a commanding presence on any platform. The deep hum of its pressurized steam system added to the sensory experience. It served luxury routes between London and Glasgow, pulling premium-class carriages with full onboard service. This was the golden age of rail travel in the UK, and the Coronation Class was its crown jewel. Several units have been preserved and restored, often appearing at major rail events. The 6220 itself was officially unveiled during a ceremony with King George VI. But if you think that was fast, the next locomotive didn't just break speed records, it's still unbeaten to this day. LNER Class A4 4468 Mallard. Introduced in 1938 by the London and Northeastern Railway, the 4468 Mallard isn't just a locomotive, it's a living legend of railway engineering. Designed to set records and dominate express lines across Britain, it pushed the limits of what steam power could achieve. Its 3-cylinder engine and high-pressure boiler generated over 3,500 horsepower. But what truly secured its place in history was its jaw-dropping performance in July 1938, when it hit 126 miles per hour, a world record for steam locomotives that still stands today. Using conjugated valve gear and rear-wheel drive, it delivered consistent power and efficiency. Its aerodynamic design dramatically reduced air resistance, making it one of the most advanced locomotives of its time. Visually, the Mallard was striking. With its sleek, low-slung profile, glossy blue paint, and streamlined curves, it looked like it belonged in the future. The roar of its engine combined with the hiss of steam created a sound that made entire stations fall silent. It operated between London and Edinburgh, connecting two major cities at speeds and comfort levels previously unheard of. Engineers and passengers alike marveled at its reliability and smooth ride. The Mallard was retired in 1963, but its legacy is very much alive. It's now proudly displayed at the National Railway Museum in York, England, and draws thousands of visitors every year. It even inspired scale models and toys that are still sold around the world. If that sounds unbeatable, wait until you see the German monster that combines speed, elegance, and brute force like nothing else of its kind. DR 18201. Built in East Germany in 1961, the DR 18201 was designed as a high-performance prototype and quickly became the fastest steam locomotive in mainland Europe. This was a machine that blended precision engineering with raw, unfiltered power. With a 3-cylinder steam engine and an ultra-high-pressure boiler, the 18201 delivered a massive 3,900 horsepower. It could reach speeds over 112 miles per hour with ease, even while pulling a full load of passenger cars. The manually operated variable valve system and rear-wheel drive, paired with oversized driving wheels, ensured smooth acceleration and top-end stability. Reinforced suspension and custom dampers helped absorb the vibrations from high-speed runs. And it wasn't just fast, it was beautiful. Painted in green and black, with a long and elegant frame, the 18201 turned heads wherever it went. The sound of steam escaping combined with the rhythmic pounding of its pistons made the entire train shake. Though it began as a prototype, the locomotive saw extensive service, especially for special excursions and VIP trains across East Germany. Engineers praised its stability and handling at high speeds. Even decades later, the 18201 is still in working condition and makes appearances at rail festivals across Europe. It's widely considered the fastest operational steam locomotive in the world. In fact, it's been restored more than once and continues to amaze modern-day audiences. Impressed by this beast? Just wait. Next up is what many call one of the most beautiful and powerful locomotives ever built in the United States. Norfolk and Western 611. The Norfolk and Western 611, built in 1950, is part of the legendary Class J, an American steam locomotive that many experts consider the pinnacle of U.S. rail engineering. Designed and assembled in Roanoke, Virginia, it was purpose-built for speed, style, and endurance. With a 4-cylinder engine and high-pressure boiler, the 611 delivered an estimated 5,100 horsepower. It could cruise at 110 miles per hour fully loaded, making it ideal for long-distance express passenger service. Its valve system used automatic steam feed regulation, and the rear-wheel drive setup featured large driving wheels built for speed and momentum. Coil spring suspension helped it remain smooth and stable over varied terrain. Aesthetically, the 611 is one of the most elegant locomotives ever made. Its bullet nose, sleek black finish with red striping, and polished chrome accents gave it a streamlined, almost artistic appearance. The sound of its whistle and engine has even been featured in movies and documentaries. It operated between cities like Cincinnati, Norfolk, and Bristol, cutting through the Appalachian Mountains with precision and speed. Despite its weight and size, it handled hills and tight turns with ease. The 611 was retired in the late 1950s, but was brought back to life decades later thanks to public support and a strong fan base. Today, it's fully operational and runs on special excursions across the U.S. Fun fact, it once pulled 20 cars up a 4,000-foot incline without dropping a single mile per hour. But if 5,000 horsepower sounds extreme, the next locomotive takes it to an entirely different level, a mechanical monster that shook America to its core. Union Pacific Challenger 3985. Built in 1943, the Union Pacific Challenger 3985 held the title of the world's largest operating steam locomotive for many years. It was engineered to conquer mountains, deserts, and immense distances with brute force and unwavering reliability. This articulated locomotive had 2 sets of 6 driving wheels and 4 cylinders, producing a staggering 6,300 horsepower. While its top speed was around 80 miles per hour, its real power was in maintaining that speed under massive loads. Its 4-6-6-4 wheel configuration allowed it to handle sharp curves despite its size. Manual gear shifting with lever-based throttle control gave engineers full command over its massive steam output. Reinforced hydraulic suspension kept everything balanced under extreme weight and vibration. Measuring 121 feet long and weighing over 600,000 pounds, the Challenger had an overwhelming physical presence. Its thunderous roar could be heard from miles away. Inside the cab, engineers had panoramic views through wide curved windows. It was mainly used in the western U.S., running through Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado. During World War II, it played a vital role in hauling coal, steel, and military supplies across the country. Restored and brought back into service in the 1980s, the 3985 became a star of rail events and heritage tours, staying active until the early 2000s. It remains one of the most iconic locomotives ever produced on American soil. Think that's big? The next one is so massive it required special tracks just to support its weight. Union Pacific, big boy. Often considered the largest steam locomotive ever built, the Union Pacific Big Boy is an unmatched icon of American railroad history. Built between 1941 and 1944, it was designed to haul freight up the steepest grades of the Rocky Mountains without needing assistance. Its articulated engine featured 4 cylinders and 16 driving wheels, producing an estimated 7,000 horsepower. Tipping the scales at over 1.2 million pounds with its tender, it could still reach speeds of 80 miles per hour while pulling freight trains stretching hundreds of cars long. Its wheel configuration was a 4-8-8-4, and it rolled on nearly 6.5-foot driving wheels. The manual transmission demanded precision from the crew, and the hydraulic suspension absorbed the brutal forces generated by its immense size. Visually, the Big Boy was a rolling fortress. Measuring 132 feet from end to end, its size was hard to comprehend in person. When it vented steam, entire city blocks seemed to disappear into a cloud of smoke and heat. Primarily used on the Cheyenne to Ogden line, it conquered the toughest terrain the western U.S. had to offer. For decades, it remained irreplaceable when it came to moving freight over long mountainous stretches. Only 8 Big Boys still exist, and one of them, number 4014, was fully restored and brought back to operation in 2019 to celebrate Union Pacific's 150th anniversary. It continues to tour the country, drawing massive crowds wherever it goes. But believe it or not, there's one more locomotive that tops even the Big Boy, not in size, but in ambition, innovation, and sheer audacity. PRR S1, the Big Engine. Unveiled in 1939, the PRR S1, nicknamed the Big Engine, was one of the boldest experiments in locomotive history. Built by the Pennsylvania Railroad in partnership with Baldwin Locomotive Works, the S1 was a one-of-a-kind prototype designed to merge futuristic design with extraordinary speed and power. Its 6-cylinder steam engine and specially engineered boiler could generate up to 6,900 horsepower. It cruised at 100 miles per hour with ease, and unofficial test runs reportedly pushed it close to 120 miles per hour. Its 6-4-4-6 wheel configuration was completely unique, with a wheelbase so long that it required custom-built track sections to accommodate its turns. Manual transmission with variable steam cutoff gave the engineer precise control. Hydraulic suspension and articulated axles helped manage its enormous weight. Design-wise, the S1 looked like something from another world. Its streamlined body was created by Raymond Loewy, the same designer behind the Lincoln Zephyr. With chrome accents and flowing curves, it looked more like a concept car than a locomotive. Its deep roar was said to resemble distant thunder rolling across the plains. It debuted at the 1939 New York World's Fair, and later ran between major cities like Chicago and Pittsburgh. Crowds gathered just to catch a glimpse of it in motion. But its oversized frame limited its versatility, and it was eventually retired from service. Even so, the PRR S1 remains a symbol of what rail engineering could have become if limits hadn't been imposed by infrastructure. A machine ahead of its time, it still captures the imagination of train lovers to this day. These weren't just locomotives, they were steel giants that moved nations, shattered records, crossed deserts and mountain ranges, and did it all with unmatched power and presence. So tell us, which one of these iron beasts would you love to see in action? Which do you think best represents the golden age of steam? And could any modern locomotive still match their impact? If you enjoyed this journey through the most incredible machines ever built, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon. That's how you help this channel grow, and how we keep bringing you more stories about the greatest machines to ever ride the rails. See you in the next video.